adolescent and young adult development, often influencing not only personal growth but also social and emotional well-being. Among students, these relationships can play a significant role in shaping their identities, social networks, and future relationship patterns. However, the factors that influence these relationships extend beyond the individuals involved. Family dynamics, particularly the influence of parents and peer networks, especially the role of friends, are thought to play a key part in shaping students' romantic relationship decisions. Hello everyone, I'm Alexa Jane T. Padillo, and I'll be discussing my paper titled The Influence of Parents and Friends on Romantic Relationship Decision on Central Relationship Among Students Having Romantic Relationship. In this presentation, I'll be exploring how the perspectives and advice of parents and friends shape the romantic relationship choices of students, particularly those involved in central relationships. Central romantic relationships have been associated with unfavorable outcomes in Spain. A study involving 747 adolescents aged 13 to 17 from Andalusia found that romantic involvement during adolescence can negatively affect well-being. The study found that romantic involvement during adolescence can actually have a negative effects on overall well-being, suggesting that while relationship can be a source of emotional growth and development, they can also introduce stress, anxiety, and emotional turmoil during a time when young people are still navigating personal identity, academic pressures, and social dynamics. In China, about 33.3% of teens in romantic relationships report experiencing more negative emotions, such as anxiety and sadness, highlighting the emotional challenges that can come with relationships at a young age. This leads to the understanding that for many teenagers, romantic relationships can be a significant source of emotional distress, especially as they are still developing the emotional maturity and coping skills needed to handle complex feelings. In Cebu, around 50% of students in romantic relationships report experiencing anxiety, particularly when conflicts or misunderstandings arise. The fact that 50% of students in Cebu report experiencing anxiety suggests that managing a relationship at a young age can be overwhelming, as teens may lack the emotional maturity and coping mechanism to handle relationship challenges effectively. Locally at the University of Mindanao Tagum College, students engaging in romantic relationships have reported that misunderstanding are a major source of distraction, often leading to intense negative emotions such as frustration, anxiety, and sadness. It's clear that relationship conflicts can deeply affect students' focus and emotional well-being, which can lead the students to experience increased stress, anxiety, and distraction, ultimately affecting their academic performance, social relationship, and overall mental health. Research objectives. So, number one, to describe the level of influence of parent and friends on romantic relationship decisions in terms of parent disapproval importance, friend disapproval importance, parent and friend approval importance for serious relationship, and parent and friend approval importance for casual relationship. Number two, to describe the level of central relationship in terms of my relationship with my romantic relationship, my interaction with my romantic partner, and my relationship with my romantic partner. Number three, to determine the significant relationship between influence of parent and friends on romantic relationship decision and central relationship. Next is hypothesis. Number one, there is significant relationship between the influence of parent and friends on romantic relationship decision and central relationship among students having romantic relationship. Number two, there is no significant relationship between influence of parent and friends and romantic relationship decisions and central relationship among students having romantic relationship. Blau 1964 and Coleman's 1961 proposition states the influence of parents and friends on romantic relationship decisions. It focuses on the cost-benefit analysis in relationships. Students often evaluate the perceived rewards and costs of their romantic decisions. Parental approval, for instance, can be seen as a reward, while disapproval can be represent a cost. Similarly, friendships are reciprocal and students may prioritize their friends' opinions, recognizing their importance in maintaining these supportive bonds. Social comparisons also come into play as students evaluate their relationships against those of their peers, using these comparisons to validate or question their romantic choices. This theory underscores the transactional nature of relationship and explains how external opinions from parents and friends weigh heavily on students' decision-making processes. Bowlby's 1950 proposition states about central relationship. This theory examines how early relationships with caregivers shape future emotional and relational behaviors. Students with a secure attachment style, fostered by consistent and supportive parenting, are likely to make confident and independent romantic choices. On the other hand, those with an anxious attachment style, stemming from inconsistent care, may excessively seek validation from their peers and allow these opinions to dominate their romantic decisions. Meanwhile, students with an avoidant attachment style, often a result of neglect, might resist parental or peer influences and prioritize independence in their choices. Additionally, strong peer relationship can serve as an attachment base where students rely on friends' attitudes and advice to navigate their romantic lives. Additionally, the social influence theory by Kalman 1953 explains that individuals are influenced by others through compliance, identification, and internalization. Students may comply with their parents' or friends' expectation to avoid conflict or maintain approval. For example, a student might choose a partner their parents favor even if it does not fully align with their preference to preserve family harmony. Identification occurs when students adopt the behaviors or attitudes of those they look up to, such as friends or parents. Over time, these influences can become internalized, shaping the student's personal values and preference in relationships. This theory highlights how social expectation from parents and peers can significantly mold romantic decisions. So, to better explain my study, I've created a conceptual paradigm that helps illustrate the variables involved in the research. So, we have two variable, which is the independent and dependent variable. So, independent variable is the influence of parent and friends in romantic relationship decisions with four indicator, which is parent disapproval importance, friend disapproval importance, parent and friend approval importance for serious relationships, and parent and friend approval importance for casual relationship. Now, independent variable, our independent variable is the central relationship with three indicator, which is my relationship with my romantic relationship, my interaction with my romantic partner, and my relationship with my romantic partner. So in this conceptual paradigm, it shows how the approval and disapproval of parents and friends can significantly shape not just the decision to be in relationship, but also the nature of that relationship and the interactions within it. By exploring these dynamics, we can gain deeper insight into how social and familial influences affect the romantic lives of students. This study will utilize a quantitative non-experimental design with a descriptive correlational technique to explore the relationship between two specified variables. This approach is intended to identify and describe any existing correlations and to evaluate both the direction and magnitude of this relationship if they are present. The research was conducted in Region 11, specifically in the district of Asuncion, Davao del Norte. According to the 2015 census, it has a population of 59,322 and covers an area of 259.39 squared. The research will be specifically conducted in Barangay Sagain, focusing on Sagain National High School. The investigation involved teenagers from Sagain National High School who are currently in a romantic relationship with a total population of 132 respondents. Next is statistical tools. So, mean used to measure the level of influence of parents and friends on romantic relationship decisions and the central relationship among students having romantic relationships. Person R will use to assess the significant relationship between the influence of parents and friends on romantic relationship decision and the central relationship among students having romantic relationships. Lastly, regression analysis will use to identify which aspects of the influence of parents and friends significantly impact the central relationship among students having romantic relationships. So now I'll be discussing the table 1 that examines the level of influence of parents and friends on romantic relationship decision among students having any relationship. So as you can see, the data on the influence of parents and friends on romantic relationship decisions is shown in the table 1, categorized by the importance of parent disapproval, friend disapproval, and the significance of parent and friend approval for both serious and casual relationships. The three indicators are generally moderate, with the exception of the third, which demonstrate a high level of measurement. The most influential factor is the parent and friend approval importance for a serious relationship, which has the highest mean score of 3.43, categorized as high, followed by the friend disapproval with a mean of 3.33, categorized as moderate, followed by parent disapproval with a mean of 3.29, categorized as moderate also. And similarly, in the parent and friend approval importance for casual relationship also holds a mean of 3.29, also categorized as moderate. So as you can see, the grand mean score is 3.34, categorized as high. So it shows that in general, the approval and disapproval of both parents and friends have a moderate to high level of influence on students' romantic relationship decisions, with a stronger influence seen in serious relationships compared to casual ones. So next, I'll be discussing the table 2 that explores different aspects of the relationship between individuals and their romantic partners. So the information regarding the level of central relationship is provided in table 2, which differentiates between my relationship with my romantic relationship, my interaction with my romantic partner, and my relationship with my romantic partner. So according to the data in table 2, the highest level of engagement is observed in my relationship with my romantic relationship with a mean score of 3.98, categorized as high. This is closely followed by my relationship with my romantic partner with a mean score of 3.94, also categorized as high, while my interaction with my romantic partner has a slightly lower mean of 3.86, though still indicating high engagement. So as you can observe, the grand mean have a mean score of 3.93, categorized as high. It indicates that across the board, individuals report a generally positive and satisfying relationship with their romantic partner. It suggests that for the majority of people, their relationship with their partner, the quality of interactions, and the emotional bond are all perceived in a favorable light. So the last table that I'll be discussing is the table 3, presenting the results of a statistical analysis examining the relationship between two variables, which is the influence of parents and friends on romantic relationship decisions and central relationship. So the table 3 shows that there is no significant correlation between the influence of parents and friends on romantic relationship decisions and central relationship, as indicated by the weak R value of 0.078468 and the high P value of 0.35. The R value suggests a very weak positive relationship, but this is not statistically significant as the P value exceeds the typical threshold of 0.05. Additionally, the coefficient of determination R squared value of 0.006157 indicates that only 0.62% of the variation in the central relationship can be explained by the influence of parents and friends, a negligible proportion. These results suggest that the influence of parents and friends has no meaningful impact on the central relationship. The lack of statistical significance means that other factors such as personal preferences, individual experiences, and relationship dynamics may be more important in shaping the nature of romantic relationships. summary of findings. So number one, the level of influence of parents and friends in romantic relationship decision among students has an overall mean of 3.33 with a descriptive equivalent of high. Number two, the level of centrality of romantic relationships among students has an overall mean of 3.93 with a descriptive equivalent of high. Number three, there is no statistically significant relationship between the influence of parents and friends on romantic relationship decision and the centrality of romantic relationships among students as indicated by a p-value of 0.35. So next conclusion. Number one, the level of influence of parents and friends in romantic relationship decision is highly evident. Number two, the level of centrality of romantic relationships is also highly evident. And number three, there is no statistically significant relationship between the influence of parents and friends on romantic relationship decisions and the centrality of the romantic relationships among students. Based on the findings regarding the influence of parents and friends on romantic relationship decisions, on central relationships among students having romantic relationship, the following recommendations are made to help students navigate their romantic relationships while maintaining healthy dynamics with family and friends. So number one, encouraging open and honest communication between students and parents while addressing underlying concerns with empathy and transparency helps navigate disagreements about romantic relationships. It is important to explore the underlying causes of the parents' disapproval, whether they're related to concerns about the student's emotional immaturity, academic focus, or potential risks, and address them with empathy, information, and reassurance. The students should also reflect on their own emotional readiness and to ensure the relationship is healthy and manageable. Number two, fostering open communication, mutual respect, and a balance between personal space and shared time supports healthy, well-rounded romantic relationships. Maintaining a healthy and balanced relationship may be achieved by communicating with each other on a regular basis about your expectations, limits, and feelings. In order to keep independence while fostering your relationship, it's also critical to find a balance between spending time together and preserving personal space. Number three, promoting autonomy in relationship decision making helps students make choices based on their own values, encouraging personal responsibility and self-reflection. It can be helpful to increase their self-assurance in making decisions based on their own well-being rather than other influences. Investigating the causes of their autonomous decision-making is also beneficial. This may include a need for control, bad experiences with outside counsel, or a conviction that they should make their own relationship decisions. So number four, the Relationship Decision Making Skills Program equips students with emotional intelligence and critical thinking skills to make informed, self-directed choices in their relationships while balancing their own needs with external influences. The curriculum would include seminars or workshops aimed at teaching students how to strike a balance between their own needs, feelings, and ideals and the advice of friends and parents. Number five, the Parental and Peer Relationship Education Initiative provides guidance to parents and peers on how to support students' romantic relationships respectfully, creating a balanced environment that nurtures the students' independence and workshop or informational sessions. Emphasis would be on encouraging peers to give considerate, non-judgmental advice and on fostering positive friendship interactions. Number 6, the Student Support Groups and Mentorship Program offers a safe space for students to discuss the impact of outside influences on their relationships, providing peer-led support groups and mentorship to foster healthy relationship dynamics and personal growth. Under the direction of skilled facilitators, peer-led support groups would give students a forum to discuss their own experiences and examine how the views of their social circle influence their choices about relationships. Lastly, my proposed title, which is Navigating Love, Parental and Peer Influences in Student Romantic Relationship. Once again, I am Alexis Jean P. Padillo from Sagay National High School. Thank you for watching and listening.